Good morning everybody, welcome back to a Chart Nerd technical analysis video. Today we will be discussing VELO against the USDT on the daily time frame. After the recent turmoil for the past week where VELO has come back around 25-30%, I do want to keep you guys updated as much as possible with what's going on in this sort of larger picture here and anything that really sticks out to me. So I've been analyzing a couple of other indicators today alongside the ones I normally use. We're using the RSI and we've got the stock RSI down here too. Now, for example, how the stock RSI works is we have three levels that we can analyze, and if we fall below this low dotted line here, which is at 20, this means that down here we are in the oversold region. Now, when we are up in higher territories above the 80 range, this means we are in the overbought region. So this is when prices are getting a little bit toppy, and down here could indicate when prices are providing a good opportunity. Just for example, if we look back at our previous 0.007 lows, if we look straight down here, both of those lows were in places where the stock RSI was very oversold. So this would have indicated that we had great opportunity to get involved for another impulsive move. So once we actually had this low and the stock RSI came in, we actually rallied in price, and you can see that the stock RSI then rallied in price. It got overbought. You can see the price here was overbought for a couple of weeks, and we initially came back for an ABC retest, and even in the price action we had an ABC. So right now we can use the stock RSI to sort of guide us and tell us whether on the daily time frame we are at an optimal opportunity point. So fast forward to where we are now, you'll notice that we are also back down where the stock RSI was to similar levels when we was at our previous double bottom low back in July and August. So we are seeing the same sort of fruitful opportunity where the stock RSI is in the oversold zones, and VELO is currently at 0.014. Now, even if we look at the past two sort of areas where we entered this oversold zone, this was over the past couple of weeks. We built up these higher lows here, and this would have been a strong indicator to get involved, because you would have had a sort of double bottom low on the stock RSI and a higher high in the price. So this would have kind of given the game away if I'd have looked back sooner to say, hey, we're looking for an impulsive move. But what's happened is, from these stock RSI lows, we rallied up and we got overbought. So right here we was overbought at 0.020. Now each time we've been overbought in the stock RSI, if you look here in previous price, we had this ABC correction, and this is where we had another ABC in the stock RSI. If we fast forward to these highs here in the stock RSI, you'll notice here we had a correction when we came back down quite fast, and this stock RSI just didn't have a breather. This was just one big pullback, and then we formed that double bottom on the stock RSI whilst forming higher lows in price, and this led to an impulsive move. So the stock RSI is a great tool to indicate whether we are potentially coming to the end of a correction or whether we're a bit overbought or undersold. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily have to mean right now, because we're in this zone, we're definitely going to start rallying up here, because again, we could hover about for a couple of days or a week or so, just like we did here, and we'd have to build some sort of base. But this is giving some indication to me that a potential bottom is near, and once this actually starts to flip and turn over, that is where you're getting the sort of confirmation that this local low might be in for VELO. Now, just getting back to the charts, because I did stick on that a little bit for the stock RSI just to explain it. So that is the indicator right now that is giving the game away on the daily time frame. We could be looking at nearing the end of this trend. Okay, that's just off one indicator. So now if we go back to where the price was and our key levels of support, if you're here and was watching yesterday's video, you'll remember that I've been looking at 0.0135/7 as a key range to come back to, because we had a key level of support back here on the 2nd of September. We had another retest of support back here on the 11th of September. And right now it just feels like we're trying to work our way back down to this key support level. So just keep in mind, we're at opportunity levels on the stock RSI, very similar levels to how we was on our double bottoms when we actually broke out to these 0.20 highs. So let's get the stock RSI off. We know that right now is looking like an opportunity area for us, but we'll get rid of that and we're going to focus on the RSI now. Now, the way that we can use the RSI is very interesting. So for example, right here, we had a higher high in price. Okay, we had a higher high in price, but in the RSI, we actually had a lower high. So at the lower high in price, a higher high in price and a lower high on the RSI, this was indicating a bearish divergence. Now, I believe the past week has actually, this is where the bearish divergence has occurred. So this double top signal here with the lower high in the RSI would have indicated, okay, that we are potentially a bit toppy here and we could be looking for the rollover. Now, what's happened within this sort of drop that we've had for the past week is the RSI has actually now created a lower low than the two previous lows in the chart. So if we look back at these two lows, what you'll notice is one of them is on this support line that we're looking for, and the second one is a higher low. So we were building up this momentum here, building up some sort of higher low, looking for the continuation in price. But that didn't occur because we had this bearish divergence on the RSI. So we didn't break out because of the bearish divergence. Now we've actually broke down, lost that support, and I think we've near completed this RSI pullback and this bearish divergence. It's actually played out because we've lost the prior two local lows. We lost these two local lows here in the RSI, and we've actually held a higher level of support. So what I'm trying to say is I think we've come out of a bearish divergence and gone potentially into a bullish one, and this divergence has played out. So it's all about, for me right now, I think that the target for VELO is 0.013, somewhere in that range. And at the same time, we've got optimal opportunity in the stock RSI. If we can get a bit more of an extension to the downside where we potentially roll over in price and do come back down to test this zone, we could be even creating even a larger bullish divergence, because what we would be doing is this low in the RSI, if you look over to the left and the previous largest low that we've had, okay, so the previous point where we were very close to this range, again, it was the 0.007 double bottom that we had before the impulsive breakout. So if we can come back and we do get a lower low in the RSI than this previous low, then you've got something called a hidden bullish divergence, because you've got a symmetrical low in the RSI, or if you've got a lower low, and then in the price, you've got these higher lows. So we're looking to turn this daily bearish divergence that we've had, okay, we've come in for it right now, looking to a key level of support, we've pulled back in it, get the low in the RSI, hopefully create a bullish divergence in the RSI, and then get the break. And then if we come back down and hold, that's when we get the break. So the indicators to me right now are showing that we had a bearish divergence with lower highs in the RSI and higher highs in the price. That bearish divergence has now played out. We're coming back in the RSI. The stock RSI is in the floor, and we're also coming back to a key level of support on 0.013. So this was the quick update I wanted to give you today, guys. It's just a bit more confluence to those sort of targets. Again, we've had double points of contact on this range before as support. If we can come back and get this third point of contact, I think it could offer a ripe opportunity moving forward for VELO. And I think in my last video I did also mention about this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave correction, and then we could hold our horses and off we go. Now, a lot of people would also look at this as a double top pattern, so we do have to analyze every potential scenario here. If we do actually sort of lose this level of support at that 0.013 range, if we actually do lose that, then potentially what we could have on our hands is this sort of double top pattern. It's not a perfect one, but if you lose support and hit your heads, it could indicate that we are going to come back for a bit more of a further drop. Now, my next level of support, if this 1-3 range is lost, is 0.0111. Now, if we get the neckline of this double top pattern, and if we do lose support and come back any further from this sort of neckline double bottom, then the target does bring us down to around the 10/11 range. And what you'll notice is this would be a higher level of support for VELO on the daily time frame. So just to make this a bit clearer, just keep in mind, this is only if we lose our 0.013 lows that we're currently looking for a retest to hold. So right now, in regards to the actual double top drop, we are very close to this support line where we do need to see a positive reaction to invalidate this drop down. But if we can't hold the 0.013, as I'm saying, as support when we come back down to it, because right now we are at the high 14s, if we can't hold the 0.013s, then potentially we do have this double top drop, which could bring us back down to this ascending support line that VELO created for itself when we actually formed our double bottoms on 0.007 in the past. So it's all about 0.013 holding. And if we fail to hold that and hit our heads and lose support and hit our heads on resistance at 14, then I think that gives more confidence we could be coming back down to this ascending trend line. Hard to give a price because it's continuously changing as we evolve and data unfolds, but it's a key level of support. So just get these ascending trend lines in your charts, get the double top breakdown ready just in case we lose the support. Also, just keep a very strong eye on that 0.013 range that we are monitoring back at these lows. It's all about these lows at 0.013 holding. If they can hold and we're just coming back for a level of support, fantastic. If they can't and we start to drop and hit our heads on resistance, you've got 0.011 below. Now if we zoom out to the weekly time frame, at the moment I don't think we have any sort of bearish divergence that's actually going on in the stock RSI and the RSI. I think we're relatively safe. Only reason being is because we had this 0.28 high, we had a high in the RSI, we've got a lower high right now, and we have a lower high in price. So there's nothing really in regards to bearish divergences or anything, or showing us that we're losing structure here. In fact, I think the RSI is giving a sign away. So in the RSI, you've got this wave 1, you've got the wave 2, you've got a wave 3, and right now you've got an A, B, C wave 4. And I think this wave 4 is going to finish and lead into a wave 5. Now, if we look at the charts, we've got the same. You've got this wave 1, you've got the wave 2 pullback, you've got the wave 3, and right now we're going through an A, B, C wave 4, looking for the low for continuation. So I think it's just all about this wave 4 low and where this actually is. And I think, as I'm saying, this ties up with our targets. We either hold 0.013, which is what we're looking for in this retest, and if we fail to hold that, you've got this double bottom neckline right here that sits at 0.011, okay, on the previous wave 1 high. So for me, it's either we've got this 5 wave right now, where from this low, you've got a wave 1, this is your wave 2 again, your wave 3. I think the wave 4 is either on 0.013, which we're coming back for, or it's on 0.011. Either way, I think one of these areas of support are going to give the game away that this is just a potential wave 4 correction of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move that potentially brings us back up to our all-time high, not all-time highs, our local highs at 0.028. There's nothing on the weekly that's concerning for me right now, overly concerning. Even on the weekly time frame, we have the 55 and the 20 EMA where we're waiting for this bullish cross, which still can form, by the way, guys. Just because we're down, you know, it doesn't mean this cannot form. We are still above these weekly EMAs and we're just coming in for a retest. So this gives me even more confirmation and even more confluence that because we're above these EMAs, we're just backtesting them for support before continuation, just like we did here. And when we came up to our 2.8 highs, we rallied up, but we got very overextended. We came back and we tried to hold these EMAs, but we actually lost them on our first attempt, okay? Because we came up too impulsively. We shot up really quick and we came down just as fast. So the fact that we're actually building this gradual base up here is a good sign. We're not just impulsively breaking out. We're actually in this nice structure, working up the stairs, trying to get back to this 0.028. So at the moment, as long as we can hold these weekly EMAs, nothing on the lower time frame matters, guys. Okay, and as I was showing you on the daily time frame with the stock RSI and the RSI, they are in the floor and we've just completed our daily bearish divergence. It's just played out. So right now, I think we're nearing to the end of this downtrend than we are coming into it. So key points to take away. We're above the EMAs on the weekly. We're still looking for this golden cross to form. We need to hold support. The RSI and the stock RSI on the daily, to me, look relatively bullish or look like we're coming to the end of a downtrend. Key support levels to take away are 0.013. Lose that, we have the double top drop to 0.011. And I think that is either one of those two is the targets for me to expect the next leg up for VELO. So I hope you've enjoyed the content today, guys. From Chart Nerd TA, take care. Peace out.